He's an executive director at XYZ company. He has been on multiple business trips a month. He usually focuses on his work in the airport and does not keep track of his flight details or boarding time. He wants an easy navigation in the airport but always finds himself at the directory or taking the longer routes to his boarding gate or shops of interest. This time round, he is on a business trip in Singapore. After 3 days of back-to-back meetings, he is extremely lethargic and wants to plan a smooth journey in the airport the next day, as well as buying gifts from the airport for his colleagues, business partners, and family. He suddenly remembered his colleagues introduced this app TravelPal to him, which serves as a platform for assisting travelers to maximize their time at the airport as well as navigating around the airport. He downloaded it previously but did not have the time to try out the scheduling functions. Mihi launched TravelPal on his iPhone and sees the various activities he can do on TravelPal's homepage. Mihi then decides to press on the schedule icon on the navigation bar, which directs him to the schedule page. Being a new user, he does not have any activity added into his schedule, so he is being prompted to add a new activity. Mihi then taps on the Add an Activity button, and a pop-up appears showing 4 types of activities, namely shopping, dine, see, and do. Remembering that Singapore Changi Airport is the best airport in the world, Mihi decided to tap on See to view the list of places he could go sightseeing and relax. While scrolling through the list of places, Mihi came across Orchid Garden, which he has heard so much from his colleague. So Mihi taps on it to see more information about it. He reads the description and decides to add it into his schedule and view the current schedule. Next, he taps onto the flight icon on the navigation bar and onto the Add Flight button. With 2 options to add his flight details in, he decided to enter his flight information manually as he does not have the booking ticket with him now. He proceeds to type in the flight location MUN and departure date 22nd October 2019 to search for his flight. Soon after, TravelPal directs Mihi to a page filled with a list of flights corresponding to the search criteria which he can select from. Mihi then taps on the flight, which leads him to an information page, and he added it into his schedule. While looking at his schedule, Mihi remembered that he had to buy a new speaker for his sons, so he decided to look for an electronic shop in the airport. He added an activity by tapping on the Add icon and selects Shop in the menu pop-up to look through the list of shops which he wants to buy gifts from. He then adds electronics and clicks the Continue button. As he feels like buying a watch as a gift for his wife, he saw Rolex and decided to add it into his schedule. After which, he taps View Schedule to see his updated schedule according to Mihi's choice of shops, so that he can optimize his time in the airport. After looking at the schedule, he feels that 30 minutes is too short for him to try out different speakers. He then decides to change the duration spent at electronics by tapping on the electronics. A pop-up will appear. Mihi swiped the pop-up up to view more details of the shop. He tapped on the Edit button to change the time from 3:15 to 4 p.m. and tapped on the Save button. The schedule is now adjusted based on his changes, and the overall activities will be updated according to a time or distance algorithm. Upon reaching the airport, Mihi launched TravelPal to check for the queue status at the check-in counter by tapping on Check-in from the schedule page. By cross-referencing with the legend at the bottom of the page, he realizes that there is no congestion at the check-in counter as it was green in color and decides to check in. Upon clearing the immigration, he launches TravelPal and starts to follow the activities which he had added yesterday. He went to Orchid Garden near the immigration counter to take a look. As it was his second time travelling in Singapore, he had been to the electronics shop before, thus he does not require any navigation assistance there. After reaching the electronics shop, he received a pop-up notification via the application saying that there is a change in boarding gate from E23 to E12. The boarding gate is now nearer to his current location, so he looks at the schedule timeline shown in TravelPal and he decided to edit the next location from Rolex to Mont Blanc because according to his initial schedule, he would need to make a detour in order to go to the Rolex shop. He edits TravelPal with his updated plan by tapping on Rolex and view more details. Tap on the Delete button to remove Rolex. There will be a confirmation message. Tap Confirm button and Rolex is successfully removed from his schedule. Mihi then taps on the Add icon followed by Shops in the pop-up menu, which redirects him to the shop page where he can select Mont Blanc from. He taps on the Add to Schedule button, after which TravelPal instantly displays the shopping guide according to his latest plan, together with the boarding gate information on the schedule page. Mihi then followed the planned schedule and proceeds to carry out his activities. After buying all the souvenirs, he decides to find a cafe near his boarding gate to read his emails. He launched TravelPal to find the nearest cafe in the Dine page by tapping on the Add Activity button. Mihi then adds Starbucks to his schedule and views his updated schedule. From his schedule, he taps on Starbucks and it shows a pop-up at the bottom. From the pop-up, Mihi taps on the Guide Me, which redirects him to the navigation page that guides him to Starbucks via an AR navigation with Trip Map integrated. After clearing his emails in Starbucks, Mihi uses TravelPal and explores the map function that shows his current location, and he zooms in by tapping on You Are Here. He taps on Cosmetics and Perfumes to know more about the shop details. He looks at his watch, and due to the time constraint, he is not able to patronize the cosmetics and perfume shop. He usually likes to make his way to the boarding gate 30 minutes before the takeoff, as he finds the area crowded and noisy. Now with TravelPal chatbot, Mihi can conveniently check on the queue and crowd status of the boarding gate from the app. So, he tapped on TravelPal chatbot icon located in the middle of the navigation bar to activate it. Once Mihi activates the TravelPal chatbot, he is greeted with a welcome message which prompts him to enter his queries. Thereafter, Mihi selects flight status, which TravelPal chatbot replied him with his boarding gate information, status, and a link to check his boarding gate status. Mihi taps on the link, which brings him to the boarding gate status page, where he could view the congestion level as well as live images of the boarding gate. Looking at the low congestion level, Mihi decided to head towards the boarding gate and awaits his arrival home. On top of that, each traveler is assigned a suggested timing to go to the boarding gate. This will help minimize congestion. After going through the departure gate, he safely boarded the flight and awaits his arrival back home.